Right on top of this edition of India Tonight, we're talking about Donald Trump facing possible imprisonment. He's set to reach New York. He's going to face criminal charges in a Manhattan court. Authorities in New York are preparing themselves. They're fearing protests and possible violence too. Remember, Trump has been indicted by a grand jury. This has happened last week in a hush money payments case. The bigger question still stands, whether the legal proceedings are going to help or dent Trump's chances in the presidential polls of 2024. Let's discuss this. Mr. Shalabh Kumar is founder of Republican Hindu Coalition, and he's also a part of AVG Advanced Technologies. He's joining us on this edition of India Tonight. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, thank you for making the time and joining us on India Tonight this evening. Trump's indictment is happening as he campaigns now to become president again in the 2024 election. Now, how do you assess the damage this indictment has done to his presidential prospects and the Republican nomination itself?
Well, good evening. First of all, greetings to your viewers. The best way to describe this will be this last Friday, the general manager of our one of our plants in Bettendorf, Iowa, came to me and he says to me, Mr. Kumar, you don't have to campaign anymore for president. He's just gonna slide right in. That's the assessment on the ground, that this is going to become now a landslide victory in 2024 for President Trump. Meaning, because you are a financial show, meaning the same what happened in 2016 when he was elected. Huge gain in S&P, U.S. stocks, and pulled through Indian stocks as well. So that's how we assess it. A lot of Democrats, they did not want to have this gift to President Trump to have him indicted. And but
Mr. Kumar,
they tried to persuade.
You've been a supporter of Donald Trump, Mr. Kumar. Do explain how you think, as far as voters are concerned, why they would support Mr. Trump when he was facing criminal charges. He's faced two major impeachments by Congress when he was president. Of course, he was acquitted by the U.S. Senate both times. But don't you think the American people deserve a candidate who has a cleaner track record and not so many legal wranglings?
Well, first of all, let me just remind your viewers of Modi, 2002 to 2014. He was hounded by the Congress party in every which way. Where is Congress party today? It's almost not even in opposition anymore. But anyway, to kind of give your viewers a little bit of a sense of this thing, everybody, Democrats included, say that in New York or in any major city, a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich. There is no opposing argument. It's only one person who goes in there in front of a select jurors and no opposition, no counter argument. And this was done by Braggs, and people on the ground understand that. And the Braggs, what was his campaign when he ran for DA? DA is elected in New York and in a district. What was his campaign? His campaign was that no matter what, if you elect me, I will indict President Trump. So what it is a instead of the justice system, which is in the first world, second world, that's how it goes. If you have a crime, you find what a law applies, and then whether the crime got committed or not. Here is opposite. Every Republican, all his opponents also in the primary race have acknowledged that here what happened is that they first found the target. First find a target, then find a grand jury which could indict a ham sandwich to find a crime. On a legal basis, this is so off base, trying to merge all kinds of statutes. Also, the history of this is this Braggs, DA Braggs. First, he tried himself, DOJ, federal government, under
Mr.
Biden
Kumar,
tried to indict him.
certainly.
They decided there's no case.
Right.
And then Bragg himself, first when he got elected,
Yes.
and he tried, he said there is no case.
Yes. But if, as far as his possible criminal charges sticking, Mr. Kumar, if that happens, then what?
Well, first of all, on a legal basis, there is going to be most prominent lawyers and judges in the country are saying this is ripe for a motion to dismiss. It's such a frivolous lawsuit that the motion to dismiss is going to be granted. And even if there is a motion to dismiss is not granted, there is going to be then a venue search, because you cannot have a fair trial in New York. Very liberal state. And then you have in a different state, the people are kind of imagining that it will not happen until past the elections, 2024. And there's no jury in the United States that is going to indict President Trump on made up charges. If you have to go back and look at what the charges are. And these are all made up charges. First of all, having hush money, even if it was true, paid is not a crime in the United States. So they are trying to, make up some charges which can possibly stick. You had Stormy Daniels, who had given a statement, a confirmation that there was no affair. Mike Cohen, the principal witness now in this case, who has been charged himself, who has spent time in jail. He had made open statement, and under oath of perjury, he had declared that there was no affair, there was no hush payment. So somebody just comes up with a crime, just like when they were trying to have charges against Modi for inciting the 2002 riots. It's
But Mr.
it's
Kumar,
the same thing.
But
It's political persecution is not normal persecution.
so you think this is political persecution. Now, for any election, you're going to fight it on certain causes. Do you think this is a case that will be capitalized on in his candidature for President of the United States, or is this something that you want to set aside? As a supporter, what do you think he should do?
Well, he is not going to be talking about this thing over there. This is going to be in the background. The issues in the country are inflation, energy independence, which under President Trump, we were energy independent. Now we are energy dependent. 200,000 illegals crossing the border, which cost the U.S. Treasury $50,000 per year. So under Biden's administration, by that time the election comes, there will be almost 8 million illegal who have crossed the border from the southern border. Okay, so economy and illegal border crossing, energy independence, some of the main issues. And everybody knows that Americans vote on pocketbook issues, and pocketbook issues are extremely strong for President Trump. It would be strong for any actually Republican candidate, including Ron DeSantis. But right now, President Trump is running way ahead, 30 points ahead of Ron DeSantis. In fact, this
the Republicans are, but Mr. Kumar, the Republicans are a house divided at this point in time. In choosing a president who has been largely chaotic, how do you think he's going to be able to find support within the Republicans when many are not rooting for him and supporting his candidature?
Vikram, tell me one serious Republican leader in the country who has not condemned this indictment. One. I live in Washington, in this world, in politics. I'm actually I just leave it at that. I'm going to have a major role to play officially in the party itself, in RNC, Republican National Committee. Pretty soon, an announcement is coming. And no, there is no division in the Republican Party on this issue at all. There might be on other things, that January 6th issue, that some of the politicians would like to have the president not talk about 2020 election and just move on.
But
some people would like to have
Mr.
younger
Kumar,
candidates.
fair enough.
Yes.
But do tell us how you think Mr. Trump, if he does manage to get the presidential nomination from the Republicans, how would he be good for the American economy at this stage? How do you think he's going to maneuver it through this looming recession right now? And as far as the economy is concerned, right now we are in a very difficult state. We're looking at the Fed now struggling with the banking crisis upon it. How do you think Mr. Trump would do it differently?
That's a very good question, Vikram. I've always said, and the president President Trump is Reagan on steroids. Okay, look what he had done in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. First 3 years before COVID came in, creating so many jobs, like 8 million new jobs. 401ks, that's the stock market, doubled. $6,000 per family increase in spending cash in each family. So, energy independence, this thing, our problem right now created is artificial by the wrong policies of Democrats and President Trump. So wrong policies of President Biden and Democrats. So first of all, what you do is you unleash oil production immediately. All the leases which have been banned, now they get on. Now then the inflation comes down. Oil prices can come down to almost like between $30 to $40 a barrel. It used to be under president below $40 a barrel. Now it's ratcheted up to $80 a barrel. And we know that the oil has a major effect on transportation, and that has a major effect on inflation. So then you get the inflation under control. When you produce a lot more, obviously, the basics of economics, how the inflation, if you have too much money chasing too few goods, that causes inflation. And if you have a lot of goods and not that much printed money, then your inflation comes down. So under President Trump, the inflation was below 2%. And it will take maybe not more than 6 months after he becomes the 47th president of the United States, that the inflation will come down below 2%. GDP is going to start growing at a 4 to 5% rate. We will become energy independent. When he becomes president, on the 47th president this time, your border will become safe again. You're going to have 200,000 a month right now, number of people that crossing the border. That will become like less than 20,000.
Yes,
so,
but you're saying all this with a certain amount of optimism, even as a former US president is being charged with a crime in relation to a payment he made to a porn star. The man who spent 4 years in the White House is going to be fingerprinted. He's going to be given a mugshot photo. He's going to be brought before a judge. This is all going to happen on Tuesday. We're going to be tracking developments on this count. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, it's a pleasure talking to you and getting your perspective. And the support that you are extending to the former president is something that we're watching very closely as well. Thank you very much for joining us with your perspective tonight on this edition of India Tonight.
Okay, thank you, Vikram.
Cheers.